ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. And now we move on to the first panel discussion after lunch. The panel discussion is called Industry 4.0 Plus, Changing the Landscape with Deep Tech. I think somewhere conversations have really gone overboard. So I would now request everybody to pay your attention back here and put your eyes and focus on the stage now. Let me introduce my panel for this discussion on deep tech, which is, I think, the buzzword these days, and how deep tech is reshaping industries. My first panelist for this session, Amit Kumar, Anand, CTO, Enterprise Solution, Nokia, India. Amit is a seasoned technologist with expertise in enterprise solutions, and he will provide insights into how deep tech, including technologies like AI, IoT, and robotics, is revolutionizing the manufacturing and industrial sectors. Welcome, Amit, to the stage. Our next panelist, Sharad Kumar Agarwal, CDIO, JK Tires. That's Chief Digital and Information Officer at JK Tire. With his experience in the automotive industry, Sharad will share his perspectives on how deep tech is driving innovation and transforming the manufacturing process in the tire industry. May I welcome Sharad on stage, please. Our third panelist for this session, Sunil David, Digital Technology Consultant and ex-Regional Director, IoT, AT&T India. Sunil is a renowned digital technology consultant with extensive knowledge of the IoT, which is the Internet of Things. He will discuss the impact of deep tech on various industries and explore the opportunities and challenges it presents. I welcome you to stage, Sunil, and our panel discussion will be moderated by the editor of Voice and Data, who's going to keep this discussion engaging and thought-provoking. Let me welcome Shubhendu Parth. Can we have a round of applause? Can we have some energy now? I'm sure during this panel we will explore the concept of Industry 4.0 and how deep tech is enhancing its capability. Over to you, Shubhendu.
Thank you, Samriti. Are we energized? Are we energized? Great, great, great. Good afternoon, everybody. So it's actually a very difficult session, but it looks like the food has actually given us a lot of energy, and we are back. And I hope the speakers will make it more energizing with their invigorating discussion today. So yeah, great. So, thanks a lot for joining today, this afternoon, and it's been great. Industry 4.0, as we all know, is also called the fourth industrial revolution. The first one being the hand-to-manufacturing, hand-based manufacturing, which moved to a mechanics-based manufacturing with electric, the invention of electricity and production lines and all, which then moved to the third revolution, which was digitally enablement of the industry. From where it's kind of an extension, but beyond the extension, which we are calling the fourth industrial revolution or the Industry 4.0, which is more of interlinking of devices, machine-to-machine interaction, smart automation and all. So without much ado, because we have already, we are short of 15 minutes, we were allotted 45 minutes, now 30 minutes is there. I'll move straight to the question. And in fact, when we talk about Industry 4.0, like the early days of the digitalization, when anybody would think of Wi-Fi as in digitalization, somebody would say having computer is digitalization. Industry 4.0 at the moment has different flavors or different kind of definitions. So to make sure that we are on the same page, I would want a quick answer from each of you. So could each one of you briefly share your perspective on what Industry 4.0 means to you and how you see it shaping the future of industries in India? So over to you. I mean, we can start with Amit.
Okay, thank you. And thanks for inviting, first of all, and to share our views from Nokia. And warm welcome to you, and I'm sure we will try to make this session more interactive and more informative. Right. So before I start, first of all, let me tell you, there is no no green without digital. So that's a statement from our CEO. It is coined and it is adopted by even the US President says this statement. So what we see is that world is moving towards digitalization and automation. And the pandemic has really, given what we say, the impact we have seen during the last 3 years, that the industries which we divide in two parts, let's say, the physical and the digital. So digital industry, we talk about the kind of Amazon or the music industry or the e-commerce industries, they have really got benefited in the last 3-4 years because they were ready. They were ready to serve the customers and earn their revenue and all. But what were the physical industries where the complete lockdown were happening? So now we see the time has come that these physical industries gets into the shape and they're getting a lot of investment for digitization and automation going to happen because they have a lot of investment already done in the last decades but they want to capitalize the assets what they have done. So the enablers which we talk about deep tech, whether we talk about AI, ML, AR, VR, digital twinning, video analytics, drones, lot of things which are there in different operation domains. They want to see that let me get the real data from my operation, my shop floors, and then do the, get insights out of it, and then do the analysis so that it can help in improving my productivity, efficiencies, and ultimately lead to the revenue and bottom line. So we see that Industry 4.0 in normal and plain simple term is that start digitalizing and then move into the automation part, and then the benefit will start keep on coming. So as we say, now machines are going to the new internet users apart from human beings, what we say, and they will reap the benefits of all deep tech technologies coming in. We'll talk about during the course that how metaverse is going to take the completely change the shape of the whole industrial or communication, how man, machine, and people will talk to each other. So it's going to be a fusion of different augmentation. So we'll see that. And one more point I just want to say, globally people are leading, but India is also not far behind. I have seen in the various boardrooms, various CIOs and the CTOs and the management also, they are really focusing on that how to start this digitization journey. And we'll touch upon in the session that what needs to be done so that they move into this direction very fast.
Thanks, Amit. Since you mentioned, that you said that India is leading and CIOs are discussing it with their at the CXL level. Your opinion, Sharad, how has been your experience? And
Mr. Amit, first of all, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for inviting us. So, Mr. Amit has said the base tenet very clearly. So, in short, if I have to define Industry 4.0, for me, it's where cyber controls physical. So, in 3 words, the definition can be that. The trends, so what we are looking today, if we are looking at autonomous vehicles, that's an outcome of Industry 4.0. So it goes beyond automation. The things which humans do, if they can be done by a system, by a process, in a way without needing the human intelligence. Like if I have to change parameters of a machine on the go by testing whatever is happening. So that's the signals, tags are coming from the sensors. On the go, I'm analyzing, be it on the edge, on the cloud, and able to make the change instantaneously so that it churns out the best quality. So the output of Industry 4.0 will lead to Quality 4.0. So where humans are used for really intellectual work, and the other banal work, the common work is done by the machines in an automated way using accumulated intelligence. That's my vision for Industry 4.0.
Thank you, Sharadji. Sunil, I just want to give it a little bit of twist. Both of them had touched it from the technology perspective. Since you have a lot of experience from the advising from the manufacturing and the shop floor, is there a different way of looking at it from the shop floor as a manufacturer?
Yeah, good afternoon to all of you, and firstly, thank you for inviting me to be part of this panel. Just to kind of add to what Sharad mentioned in terms of the definition itself, so I think what you said is right. It is a true integration of cyber and physical systems, which is what Industry 4.0 is all about. But coming from a manufacturer's perspective, I think what is important is that how do manufacturers leverage the power of data? Because let's just step back a little bit. So if you just look at digitization, which is just trying to convert analog into digital and some level of automation, but the real value will come with true digitalization. How are you leveraging the power of data? how are you squeezing data to get the maximum possible value? And that is where the manufacturers will really get all those benefits. So whether you look at improvement in terms of efficiencies, cost reduction, whether you're wanting to improve customer experience through the power of data, I see a huge opportunity for the manufacturers. And today in India, I must say that adoption amongst manufacturers is not as it should be. There is still a lot of scope for improvement because there are many of the big manufacturers who have at various stages of adoption when it comes to Industry 4.0. But what about the MSMEs? If you just look at the MSME, 6 crore MSMEs in India, 95% of them are micro, and a lot of them are manufacturing MSMEs. And if these manufacturing MSMEs do not adopt, they are still at 2.5 or 3 in my view. They haven't even progressed to 4, and it's going to take a while to get there. But for the manufacturers, I think we need to get that whole ecosystem together. Not the big ones, but it has to be inclusive, covering everybody, and leveraging the power of data, and not just using data to reduce cost and improve efficiencies. The real value will come when you're going to leverage data to be able to innovate around your business models. Because I think today what's happening is a lot of the spend that is going in digital is largely on areas related to cost reduction, efficiency improvement. Not a lot of spend is going in areas where they can actually improve CX. How do you innovate around your business model? Like, simple example is connected products. Automobiles, your car on wheels. With software-defined vehicles, so much of data being fused into vehicles. There's a lot that you can extract from that data and offer models that are going to be very attractive for consumers. And remember, Shubhendu, the demographics of India are changing. We have a lot more younger people coming into it. And for them, it experiences what matters. So we are actually in an economy of experiences now, right? So true value of data realization, in my view, is when you are at that, when you're at Industry 4.0.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Sunil, for adding that perspective. As all of you have very well defined, it's the integration of cyber physical. So just wanted to understand more from the technology perspective, since it's a technology session. How do you see the integration, and how do you see the role of deep tech in bringing about this change? Particularly, we are also interested because Nokia, after Finland set up its first conscious factory, it would be interesting to understand.
Sure.
Because when we talk about technology and smartness, the consciousness, even Elon Musk has said, is kind of missing from that intelligence part. So it would be interesting to understand how
Sure.
the deep tech is impacting or will impact or change the smartness of the factories. And
Right. So before I get into the Nokia part, let me just try to a little bit elaborate and agree with Sunil said. The ecosystem of, when I talk to different large industries, so there are a lot of ancillary partners also in the ecosystem. So we don't talk about one particular plant. It's a within a square kilometer, 5-10 square kilometer, that they also need to get into their system, CRM system, their whole thing, ordering processes and all the things. Then it will make a whole value chain for everybody. Otherwise, you need to capitalize investments also. Okay, coming to this. So what we see that deliverables of Industry 4.0 and then the role played by deep tech. So Industry 4.0 has some pillars that what both of my colleagues have said, that you need to have a agility, flexibility, need your assets on the fly, you can reconfigure them, right? And then bring the predictability of your machine's operation, when it is going to get faulty. I need to know the trends also. So you enhance your productivity and efficiency, arrange your even workers. When your, let's say, shop floor people starts from their home, you know that who is coming or who is not coming. That's the addition which we have done in Chennai. I'll share that part also. So we know that how we need to streamline our production lines, SMT lines. So all these factors which are the basic pillars of Industry 4.0, but how we'll achieve it actually? Unless until we connect these things, the machines, we are not going to get the data. We talk about deep tech, lot of technologies are there, but unless until you have the real-time data coming to you, you can't really reap the benefits out of it. Let me share some examples, even not in India, global also, that people have gone to deploy certain use cases or deep tech use cases, whether AR, VR, video analytics, or going for robotics, but they are not able to control them, configure them, and even capture real-time data. And then they say that, what should I do with this my investment? Because you are not able to capture that on a single dashboard. So first of all, that needs to be done. So once you are done with this, only then you can reap the benefit of deep tech solutions, what we talk about. I don't say technology, it's solutions basically. Then what we have done in Chennai is, let me tell you, we work on a principle called DART, D-A-R-T plus connectivity. Basically digitization, automation and analytics, then robotics, and then transparency, and connectivity on top of it. So what we have done is, over a period of journey of 4 to 5 years, we have implemented private wireless network with the help of our CSPs and all. So we have, our factory, the built up shop floor is around 55,000 square meter area, where we are running 9 SMT lines and producing all 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G products, radio products. And we are supplying not only to India, almost all global market up to US. More than 30 countries are being export the equipments which were manufactured in India, Chennai, that is exported to the rest of the world. So what we have done is, we have put up, instead of Wi-Fi, we had a problem. Why this came into play? There is a huge kilometer of length of LAN cable running around, then there is a Wi-Fi. But one LAN cable cut, it takes almost 1 day or 8 to get it rectified. So whole shop floor gets into a shape. We have such a movable testers, we can move around in the whole shop floor and reconfigure our production lines. So by putting this network, what we have done is that we have completely made our assets fully flexible and agile. And then we have done over a period of 3, 4, 5 years, we have done implementation of a lot of many use cases. Starting when I say this automation or the robotics, AGVs, AIVs, auto intelligent vehicles, or AGVs, the guided vehicles, this telepresence robots, they are now doing doing the mundane jobs. People are not going to shop floor or the warehouse that pick up the material. Now this AGV, AIV is doing. They are trained to navigate the whole these things. Then we have implemented a lot of IoT use cases. From even, we know now when the truck, the shipment is getting cleared from customs, we know which truck having which material and where it has to land. So the kind of truck halting time of 8 to 12 hours at the gate of our factory, it has come down to 1 hour. We know which bay it will go, what material is coming, our systems are ready. With the internal CRM, we do the coding and it goes to the stack of warehouse where it has to go. And by the way, before I complete, I invite every CIO to our factory. And we are inviting a lot. I am hosting almost more than 3 to 4 in a month. Right, so it's an open invitation to all. My mail ID and other things will be available. So I'm pleased to invite everybody. Right, so you can. I'll take you up on your Sure. So in fact, I am visiting on 28th, bringing my around 10 customers are coming, even not from India, they are coming from global, top guys. So most people are welcome. So kind of use, in the interest of time, I will say the kind of use cases is robotics, IoTs, indoor positioning solutions. Basically, with the help of Bluetooth and this LE, we can find out the asset within a proximity of meters, centimeters, where it is the products are lying. Then we have done the digital twinning of complete factory. All the assets, SMT lines, any movable product, AGV, AV, where it is lying, whether it is in ideal position or in a working condition, we are able to know on a single TV screen. So that's a 2D version of digital twin. When we will talk about metaverse, then we will talk about 3D and how we will interact with that's going to be later stage. But we have done the 3D modeling also. So these kind of use case, then AR, VR, we are doing for training. When we are employing people on the shop floor, it's on the factory, we are training them on a VR platform. So before they put the job, and there is a level of VR training for these guys that they certified and they go. So a lot of use cases have been done. Now the question which comes is conscious. Why conscious? Basically, all this automation, high level of robotics which is being done, whether you name any platform, we have created a platform which can manage multi-vendor AGVs, multi-vendor robots on a single platform. Our management gets the dashboard on their handsets, that what kind of production you are happening on a daily basis. Then conscious means that the factory can feel, predict and sense, and then based on self-learning models, they are able to guide the management level and the operation guy that what needs to be done, so that he can take a proactive action. That's the reason we said it's a conscious factory with the help of networking plus deep tech technologies.
Thanks.
Long answer, but I wanted to elaborate that.
Elaborated answer, and thanks for the invitation.
Yes.
We should join together.
Yes.
So Sharad, automobile sector has always been on the cutting edge of adopting technologies, and the other part is the use of rubber is the highest in the tire sector. Now, with these two backgrounds, I just want to understand how JK Tire has been adopting Industry 4.0 and what has been the impact of deep tech and how has it transformed the company's operations and business model? And also, can you share specific examples?
Okay. So JK Tire has been working with these automated solutions since long. Probably that term was coined later, but every industry in a way was working on it, be it for automation, robotics, etc. But yes, the self-learning models or the machine learning or AI came into picture a bit later. So just couple of examples. One, obviously, we are working to improve the productivity, OEE. So what's happening, just if we are able to shave off even a couple of seconds from our cycle time, so it results into, say, even if 0.1% improvement. So that's the improvement to the bottom line. Similarly, for some other cases, we have been working to find the golden batch, the elusive golden batch, which we have not yet been able to. But if that can be done, so the quality, which I was talking of quality 4.0, the quality will become probably 4 nines, 99.9% double nine, that can be achieved. So at the AGVs, we don't have AIVs, yes, but we do have AGVs to improve the manpower output. We call it MTPD, manpower per ton per day. So if we look at different plants, the oldest plant, which was first plant which was commissioned in say 1976, and the latest one which was commissioned in 2012. So the difference would be 5 times. The people being used there, productivity is 5 times better. The OEE is also improving because we are able to monitor it because of the IoT-based sensors available, and the data has to be analyzed. Alerts have, so it has alert has to be raised, action has to be taken. So the alerts have to be actionable. So just going beyond it, out of just the Industry 4.0, we have been able to crack the defect, automated defect for the customers. So the claims that we get, though they are not a good thing to get, but once we get them, earlier the turnaround time was roughly 6 to 7 days. Now 95% of our claims get settled within 5 minutes. A customer goes with his tire, the dealer clicks 6 photographs, the AI engine gives you the result.
That's great.
So that's the real benefits that we are able to achieve. So, but that's not, so we are working on some predictive maintenance use cases using the vibration sensors and then Fourier series analysis. We are working with some startups to say that when it may fail. There are some other use cases. We have very big machines, which are very big mixers. So I remember a case about, it was pre-COVID. So we got a reminder that the bearing might fail. So we stopped the machine, changed the bearing in 2 hours, held. If it had broken, so it would have taken 24 hours. So we were able to shave off 22 hours. So these are some real use cases. And was there anything else for the question? I think you would.
No, this is okay. In terms
so
of business models, or is there any
in
transformation?
case of, you were asking about the rubber. So for rubber, the industry, not just JKTR, the industry is trying to find out alternatives, how this natural rubber consumption can be minimized. So there has been of late, I would say, awareness that whenever a tire is running, a very small part of rubber gets dispersed in the air and on the road. How to control it, so there has been a lot of R&D going on worldwide to see how it can be controlled. And just one more thing, the tires keep on evolving. Tire is a very complex, as you said, that automobile industry normally is at the edge of the technology always. So that's very true. Normally I have been able to see the tone of GDP looking at the automotive industry. If automotive industry is doing good, the GDP normally would be doing good. So but from a technological importance, so you have always to see how best technology can be imbibed in the business. In automobile industry, in tire industry, they are looking ahead, working ahead. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Sunil, as an independent consultant specializing in manufacturing and process control, what, according to you, how do you identify the challenges and opportunities that deep tech presents for Indian industry as they embrace Industry 4.0? And how can the organizations navigate these challenges and leverage the potential?
Okay, thanks for that, 'cause it's a very, it needs a long winding answer, but I'll just try to shorten it in a couple of minutes. So the first thing is that when you look at some of the challenges, I'll kind of split it into two parts. Because when you look at deep tech, it is very broad. It covers so many technologies, IoT, AI, cloud, blockchain, AR, VR. But if you just look at adoption today, it is largely IoT, AI, cloud. Some use cases where we are seeing AR, VR being used. Robotics, of course, widely used in manufacturing. But one challenge that I would want to highlight is the fact that the cost of adoption of IoT in India today is still on the higher side. And that is preventing adoption from scaling. So the cost of IoT devices, today we get most of our chipsets, modules, all from outside. So there is an incentive from the government, PLI schemes that have launched where they would make those devices here. So once that happens, the cost of devices would come down further, sensor cost would come down further. Once that happens, that will drive a lot more adoption, because I think as a country, we are probably just scratched the surface. The huge opportunity to sensorize the billions of assets. So adoption of IoT is not picked up as much as we want to. One reason being the fact that cost of IoT devices are on the higher side. That hopefully should come down. Second, of course, is the fact that cyber challenges, because as you expose access to the internet, you are exposed to risks. So that's definitely a challenge which is being addressed. I also see challenges where it's not been a very seamless OT and IT integration, right? So even if you just look at IoT devices, many of them are global deployments. A lot of protocols used for device to cloud communication. You don't have standardization there. It's still work in progress. So those are issues. I also see challenges where I've seen manufacturers who are telling me that they have data in silos, no unified view of data. That's also a challenge. But the couple of other challenges which I generally want to highlight relates to more about leadership and culture. So while you might have all the technologies to solve all your problems, you really need all the line of business leaders to really align with the digital vision of the company, right? So you might have the top leader wanting to drive that, but you need everyone to get along together to kind of ensure that you're in sync and you implement and execute. Change management is a problem, because digital transformation is not just, it's changing your business process, changing how you interact with customers. So, and you need people change also. So skills is a problem. It's still, I was just talking to Mr. Sharad. Manufacturing industry is finding it difficult to attract talent today. We really need people coming into the industry, and how are you going to incentivize people to come, right? So that is also an issue which has to be addressed. I'll take a minute to talk about the opportunities. I think the opportunity is huge, because thanks to the kind of push that has come from the government to make sure that India adopts digital, across, we are seeing a lot more data centers coming in. The opportunity is huge, because data centers and infrastructure industry, so they get a lot more concessions to install data centers. Cloud adoption is picking up. A lot more hyperscale providers are setting up cloud nodes in India. Hopefully, when the IoT device cost comes down, that will drive a lot more adoption. And I think the real value for the, as I mentioned earlier, when they see that the power of data can give them so much of value, I think there's a huge opportunity there to leverage the power of data to really improve customer experience and improve employee experience. Please don't forget the employee part, because I think you need human and machine together to collaborate to really make it happen.
Thanks, Sunil. Amit, as Sunil mentioned, and all of Sharad also pointed out about the integration and all. And all of this couldn't have happened 4 years back, because we didn't have the connectivity. And now we are already moving to 5G. So what difference has it, or will it bring about in the Industry 4.0? Because on a retail level, 5G, we have used it, it's not much of a difference, because how faster can you, how you can watch a video, you can't just speed roll it. So, and how can these technologies work together? Because it's about integrating, as you mentioned, it's about connecting each other and interacting each other. What would be the impact?
Correct. So one thing I would really agree with Sunil, because I have been interacting with more than 100 CIOs in different or large manufacturing and SMEs also. So challenges which you mentioned, and also the top-down approach coming in, that people, culture, ecosystem has to adopt this. Otherwise, what happens is that somebody drives it and somebody install it. So if you really need to adopt this digitalization journey, you need to come out of your comfort zone as well as think of future, not the today part. So coming to this 4G and 5G, so like I said, we started in 2018 onwards in our factory because there was a push coming from of global parent company that you do something. So we did that with 4G. Now we have transformed it to 5G also. So 5G is bringing lot of spectrum, lot of the speed throughput not a challenge. The video upload and download, because till 4G the spectrum was very little available with the people, so you can't upload the data. In any industry, it is more of upload rather than download. You need to capture the data from machines. If you have to do video analytics, you need to again capture real-time data. So anomaly detection happening at a real-time basis, you need to really capture that. So you are putting a high-definition cameras, you need a speed and throughput both together. So 5G is basically bringing a bridge between the assets, heavy industries, and then making with the help of deep tech technologies, whether analytics, AR, VR and all things, enabling them to interact together. And thanks to the push of government and the operators which have rolled out, we have seen one of the largest rollout in the world after China, that more than 200K sites have been rolled out in less than 8 months. So it's one of the achievements which have been done by Indian operators India globally. So it is getting adopted. But yes, because of the IoT chipset and other thing on the 5G side, the major manufacturer like Qualcomm and they are working on this top of it. So the economy of scale is going to play a role. As on date also, if we speak about globally, let's say there are around 1200 networks which are connected to industries and not only manufacturing, other verticals. We talk about ports, we talk about mining, we talk about oil and gas sector, which are hungry for connectivity because their connectivity is not available at all. So those networks have adopted, and as such we are present there in 600 networks globally. And on the protocol side and all things, yes, you need to have a special protocols, conversion of different L2 to L3 and all encapsulation, PLC connectivity. So ecosystem is getting generated. So people have to work basically, collaborate in terms of ecosystem partner with the OEMs, with the solution providers, software providers, unless until all they marry together and the whole things will grow in totality. So it's going to take a time. It's not a journey that's going to finish in 1 or 2 years. Wherever we have reached in last, it is a 5-year journey which we have done and deployed more than 100 use cases. But yes, people will take time. But they need to start with the little steps. Once they start, only then they will need to reap benefit. If people see that today I'm investing this much and when I'm going to get ROI of it, that's not the game. The game is long term.
Thanks. Sharad, both Sunil and Arun, they talked about the challenges they highlighted. He also talked about from the operational side and as a CIO, what challenges do you see?
So one of the challenges that Sunil rightly pointed out is talent. To attract talent to a manufacturing industry in deep tech is a bit difficult. And the other challenge I don't have to have the board support. So our board is after me. So I'm lucky to have that. So most of their town halls or any public address will start with digital. So that's good to have. And because of that only, though we have not been able to solve the problem that you pointed out the chipset, so we make chips so we manufacture smart tires in which chips are embedded into the tires or strapped on, bolted on to the tires, by which they can, you would have heard of TPMS, tire pressure monitoring system. So it's a step beyond this pressure and temperature monitoring because temperature is equally important. So based on that, so today millions, so not so millions, lakhs of vehicles are on these smart tires who are able to have a look on how their tires are performing. So based on this only, we have even launched Tire as a Service, which we call mobility solutions. So currently it's available only to bigger fleets in which the fleet owner can see how their tires are performing. And when we say it as a service, everything is managed by JK Tire, be it tire mounting, even if there's a puncture, so if there's a high pressure, low pressure, so this is all being managed by Tire remotely through technology. It won't have been possible had with this IoT sensors were not there. So, okay, coming back to challenges, yes, you have to take everyone along. Change management obviously is a challenge. From top to bottom, everything shall be aligned. And having technology at optimal price. Look, ROI is essential. though you said that you can't look at ROI, but I can't forego of ROI. Value.
You have to,
So
you're
value,
answerable, yeah.
so if, and anything which gives you value payback in 5-10 years is not acceptable.
Thanks. Since we are talking about challenges, and one of the challenges is managing time, and I've been asked to take questions from the audience, and we have 3 experts. So any thing, yeah, please. And I'd request you to mention your name and organization and be short.
Yeah, my name is Vimal Baklu. I'm former CMD TCIL. Actually, my question is directed at Mr. Agarwal. You mentioned about this, smart tire business. Now, you provide information to the customers on the status of the tires you mentioned. Do you integrate it with the other platforms as well? For example, Honda City, for example, Honda, they don't all use JK tires. Suppose somebody wants to use JK tires for this particular reason. Can you integrate your, platform with, say, for example, Honda Connect, which gives information about the other parameters?
Yeah, thanks for the question. Currently, I won't be able to name out the OEs, but we are working with, in the commercial vehicle, some of the OEs, in which we are trying to integrate it with their dashboard, because most of the commercial vehicles in India don't come currently fitted with TPMS solutions. The high-end, I won't say high-end, the 10-12 lakh plus cars today are coming fitted with TPMS systems. So this chip can be put on any tire. That's one. But yes, to integrate it to that protocol of that manufacturer, so interoperability is still a challenge. So we are working with couple of OEs to integrate to their system. So we have not been able to build an open system currently. So we can give an API, but how do they integrate? How will they accept it? So it is another bigger challenge, not just for this case, for any MES, any tech system, interoperability has to be, going forward has to be there. If we recall our days of when we were younger, so the switches and plugs of different companies won't fit into each other.
The same is it.
Maybe
So
here Nokia can play a role, a third party.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a role of different guys, the system integrators, the software solution providers, the ecosystem player like us, and the OEMs as well. So it has to play a role together. Otherwise, a single party can't do everything, because they are not the expert in that domain.
I just want to comment on your initiative, this tire as a service, because you're using that to create differentiation. With such a competitive industry, with all things being equal, what would differentiate one brand from the other is something which is where you can innovate around your business model. So I think this is the real power of Industry 4.0, where you're leveraging the power of data and analytics to come up with something very unique and different, and stay ahead of competition. So I really have to compliment you guys for
This
doing
is,
this.
the compliments are to my business, and it is giving saving to the user as well as some extra basis point profit to us also. So it's win-win for all.
So before we,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, please.
It is not only we have been concentrating more on manufacturing side and other things, but let me tell you, the connectivity of Industry 4.0 is not limited to that. Healthcare, if you talk about today, the kind of sensors which are available, whether we talk about Apple Watch or other patches, they are giving real-time information to the doctors, to the hospitals, and back to the patient that what corrective action to be done. And there the things are really helping in the rural area especially, where just by single, at a Gram Panchayat level, we did the smart tool we did in J&K also. So basically on a Gram Panchayat level, if you did just the connectivity and put certain, kind of basic amenities, the vitals, the video consultation, all the things, that is also playing a role for the people. So upliftment of social, precision farming, how much kind of fertilizer has to put over there. The precision farming is done by the help of drones, again by connectivity and video analytics. So a lot of things are there. All industries are getting into this domain basically, not only the manufacturing.
Definitely. Yeah. Thanks a lot. And I'm sure since we have overshot the time, and they'll have an opportunity to discuss with you. Just one thing before we call it off. 2 points to summarize today's discussion from you, each of each one of you.
So from my point of view, one that I think we touched upon that in an organization to get into this digital journey, it has to come from top to bottom, and all players or partner stakeholder has to think of it from a long-term point of view. They should not see that it is going to stall my operation or somebody else's operation, because this is what I'm seeing in this thing. Second is the role of ecosystem players. As on date, when you see the asset-heavy industries, lot of OEMs who are supplying machineries and all, they are not giving the information to the purchasers. So ecosystem players, then like the APIs we are talking, based on API, the software developer can develop the applications, and which can be largely utilized by different industry applications by simple tweaking of things. So ecosystem player, then the chipset, all the things, those things has to be collaboratively today, and it is, work is in progress, and I hope that in next 3, 5, 4 years, we will see the
Results. Sharad, your point.
So I feel that deep tech shall become so ubiquitous that it won't be visible but would be everywhere. Like the mobile waves, they are everywhere. And shall be used for social benefit of the society, apart just from the industry. Probably med tech is an area which is evolving but has to still, so if we hear that one of the disease which could have been prevented, a patient could have been cured, a life could have been saved, be it through preventing a road accident or giving some medicine or advice to any person. Every life is important, but though we hadn't discussed this,
Right.
but I feel that deep tech shall impact the society positively, be it environment, be it sustainability, and most importantly, human life.
Thanks a lot. Your final
Yeah,
point.
2 points. One is the fact that while we talk a lot on deep tech, don't forget the human angle, because you're going to use technology which will only augment a human to improve his productivity and make his job far more easier. So human plus technology together is a very powerful combination. Number 2, as you said, sustainability. I think we haven't talked about sustainability in this discussion, but as a country, since we have set our targets to get to carbon neutral by 2070, the onus is on the industry to make sure that if we as a country have to meet the targets, the industry have to play their part. I think there's enough and more technology that is available today to address some of the really pressing energy issues. For example, optimization of energy, managing waste, water. You have enough tech that is available today to be able to solve some of that and reduce your carbon emissions. So sustainable growth is also very, very critical.
Thanks a lot. And again, thanks audience for the patience hearing and in the post-lunch session. Thank you.
Thank you.